Let's continue things with another spicy upload. This is the original Project Cars, released in 2015 for the PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. Reinstalled this the other night. It's got a couple cars and tracks that were not found in the sequel Project Cars 2. It's got a slightly different career mode layout. The AI is calibrated a bit differently, and it drives a bit different. So I've started a full distance max AI difficulty career mode. In GT3 I signed with the Corvette team, which I believe is one of the DLC cars, and we'll be doing the sprint race at Laguna, Seca today. Project Cars has a very interesting backstory. It was originally a crowdfunding project similar to Star Citizen. However, it did both promise as well as deliver a return on its investment. So a lot of the sim community actually made, a bit of pocket change off this game, which is really interesting. However, that obviously had its downsides. A lot of the community, if you were around sim racing back when this game was in development, basically became viral marketers for the Project Cars series. And it was genuinely difficult to try and differentiate between what was genuine excitement for this game versus very grassroots astroturfing. It also resulted in a lot of sim racing publications and YouTube content creators being a bit wary to tell people about the state this game was released in. Basically, on the crowdfunding forum, which had over 30,000 members and was only accessible to those who had donated to the project, there were a lot of posts in the months leading up to release stating that the game basically wasn't quite ready. It lacked a lot of polish, and it wasn't going to ship in a very good state. I had to basically take it upon myself and take screenshots of the internal forum because nobody else was doing it because they didn't want to affect their return on their investment. The lack of polish and some of the launch day gremlins can still be found in this game today. You'll notice the car setup menu is extremely convoluted and clunky to navigate, and you'll notice the fuel load units are in laps when they should be in liters. Again, I'm playing this in 2021, something like 6 years after this game was released. I believe this game got a patch every month after release for about a year. Stuff like that never got fixed, and you just have to learn to live with it. And if you do, you'll find it's really not the revolution that was originally pitched to people in 2012. It's really just a graphically relevant version of GTR Evolution or Race 07. Right off the bat, we've got a bug here. The AI, for whatever reason, starting next to me, shot out of a cannon, and he is gone, taking the green flag at a completely different speed than I did. And that's basically how we're going to run for the opening stint of the race. I ended up falling back to third, so I will skip right to lap 13 when things actually start happening, and we get to see this game's AI on display. An AI model that, like a lot of different areas in this game, needed a little bit more time in the oven. This is typically a pretty high-speed corner where you do security lift, but for whatever reason the AI decides to jump on the brakes, and it's created a very unnatural and exploitable overtaking opportunity. I stick my car right on the rumble strips to give the AI all the room in the world. He doesn't even acknowledge my existence and just straight up turns into me. That entire 10-second sequence is just really disappointing. Encounters like that are primarily what has fueled my pessimism towards sim racing over the years. I really want to enjoy these games, but I can't trust basic situations such as overtaking a single car in a single corner with no other cars around us to go smoothly. It's also been really frustrating to me that the majority of the racing sim community, and that includes content creators as well as sim racing publications, really don't feel the need to talk about issues like this. For example, in the Madden NFL community, there's a channel run by a guy named Ryan Moody, where all he does is show weird shit happening in the newest Madden NFL game. He doesn't just show funny glitch videos, but he'll show videos of AI logic on defense not working correctly, AI blocking logic not picking up the right defender. Really intricate shit that football nerds care about the same way that racing sim fans care about tire models and AI behavior. He actually takes the 10 minutes out of his day to break down. I was surprised to see that racing sim fans really didn't care about the little details like that, because there's a lot of weird shit that happens in these games. Check out what's going on in front of me. The leader in the McLaren almost drives in the fucking sand because he doesn't know how to pass a lapped car. In fact, he doesn't even understand that when you're taking a right-hand turn, you probably shouldn't try and pull to the left mid-corner. The AI car getting lapped in the Aston Martin also doesn't know how to yield to the leader, so the leader is forced to just weave left and right on the straightaway and do really crazy shit like this where he just cuts the corner outright to get around the lap car. The original Project Cars is not the only game that this kind of crazy shit happens in. I've seen this kind of behavior in basically every Madness and ISI motor game out there. Which, when you sit down and actually take a look at the list of racing sims that use either engine, it's like 80% of the genre over the past 20 years. So at this point, when I see a sim racing content creator or a sim racing publication or some sort of channel push out a piece of content that says that, like, hey, game X is great and you should go check it out, especially because it's on a Black Friday deal, I just don't do anything but laugh at this point. Bro, the AI can't pass each other without almost wrecking. You can't pass the AI without them trying to wreck you. Like, this is where we're at in sim racing. So, of course, the natural progression is to show our dear leader Austin May in the McLaren 12C attempting to pass multiple lapped cars with 2 laps to go in a 40-minute race. As you can imagine, this becomes all sorts of fucked up. He does the same thing where in a right-hand corner he jumps on the brakes and tries to pass the cars on the left, because that makes sense, and just like I did earlier in the race, that sets up a very artificial overtaking opportunity for me. But I also have to deal with the game randomly dropping frames at this point, because despite running very smoothly for upwards of 30 minutes, suddenly I'm subjected to the Microsoft PowerPoint experience, which is absolutely wonderful and something I've been trying to avoid by not going to college. The guy in second place behind me now has no idea what to do around me and just tries random, crazy, ill-advised dive bombs where he starts swerving all over the place behind me, which is just really weird to see and not what anyone in a race car would ever do. They're going to save an overtaking opportunity and opt to ride behind you waiting for the perfect moment, but here he's just dive bombing every corner and just weaving left and right all over the place. So I have to deal with what is now a psychotic AI with a lap to go in the race, and of course that results in me overdriving and teeing off on an AI car. But thankfully, the AI in second is actually too retarded to capitalize on that, because as we've shown throughout this video, he doesn't actually know how to pass cars without cutting the corner, like blatantly cutting the corner, like driving on the sand cutting the corner. And he's actually going to do it again here in turn 1. Check the rearview mirror. He just drove on the sand for turn 1. Now again, with the sim community being a bit docile, a lot of this stuff over the years across a variety of sims has been basically swept under the rug. Or even back when I had my old website, I was told that I over-exaggerated a lot of stuff, that a lot of the issues I was bringing up in my articles weren't a big deal. I've been told by at least one developer that they outright didn't agree with my articles, and that's why I was banned from their service. But I want you to think about it from this perspective. I've been playing this game for about 2 hours tonight. That includes practice, qualifying, making a setup, and then running the race itself. These AI issues affected the outcome of the race. Every car I passed was because I took advantage of one of several different AI issues. If I would have gotten caught up in a wreck, it would have been because of an AI issue. There's an analogy used in Madden that's actually really intelligent. Yes, Madden has bullshit interceptions all the time. Yes, FIFA has bullshit goals all the time. Most of the time they're funny, and they happen when you're playing with friends, and it's something to laugh about over pizza later that night. It hits a bit different when that bullshit goal, or that bullshit interception, is the reason you lost the championship game after investing weeks into your franchise mode team. That's more or less what happened here. I sunk 2 hours into this game this evening. I made a couple of setup adjustments in practice, I went through both qualifying sessions, and then I ran the actual race. And the reward for sinking 2 hours into this game was a race that was decided entirely by bugs. So, regardless of the game we're talking about, I just use Project Cars as an example here because that's what I chose to play tonight. I really don't want to hear the developers are trying really hard. I really don't want to hear that, oh, you're just nitpicking at this point, and the majority of people don't have these kinds of issues. I went into the race not knowing what my fuel load was going to be because the menu had a bug in it, and then had to deal with AI cars that at any time could have wrecked in front of me and taken me out because they genuinely did not know how to pass each other. That was my reward for doing a full distance race in a modern racing simulator. Just driving through endless amounts of jank, really.